Sky spills gold on the ocean skin. Waves whisper secrets where dreams begin. Sand hugs my feet as the breeze rolls in. Golden horizons calling my name. Every heartbeat feels like a flame under the sun.
Today I'm at Horsey Gap and I'm going to be walking down to Horsey Gap Beach in the hope of seeing some seals. On the way, I'm calling in at Horsey Windpump, which is a National Trust property. It's also where you can park the car before you embark on the 2.2 kilometre walk down to Horsey Gap Beach. As you enter the Windpump, there's a small sensory garden, which is really nice to sit and have a drink before you take a walk down to the coastline. There's also toilet facilities and a cafe. So let's go and explore Horsey Windpump, which is the youngest and one of the largest wind pumps on the Norfolk Broads. It was built in 1912 by millwright Dan England and completed just in time for the summer floods of August 1912. After 75 years, the wind pump was struck by lightning in 1943, and the National Trust took on the site in 1947. Over the years, the building fell even further into disrepair, until in 1956 a campaign was launched by the Society for the Protection of Ancient Buildings on behalf of the National Trust, with the aim of raising the £2,750 needed to fix the wind pump. The campaign was successful and Horsey Wind Pump was restored and a new set of sails installed. Unfortunately, over the years, Horsey Wind Pump had further bouts of damage and has been repaired multiple times. Finally, it was closed for 3 years for major restoration, and in 2019, Horsey Wind Pump reopened to visitors with an independently winding cap and sails that can now turn for the first time in over 75 years. I do think the entrance price of £8 is a little bit steep for the Horsey Wind Pump, but if you're a National Trust member like me, it's well worth a visit, and you can climb these 61 steps up to the balcony at the top and enjoy panoramic views over the countryside. The stairs are pretty steep, so be careful. The name Horsey means horse island, and it is believed that Horsey was originally a stud or grazing area for horses. Mortality was high, with insects carrying fen plague, also known as marsh malaria. At the time, Horsey only had 7 small cottages and 1 small farmhouse. It was not really a place that people wanted to live. It was effectively still an island surrounded by marshes with just one road in and out of the village that was often flooded for most of the year. So I'm just walking down from the National Trust property, Horsey Windpump, and I'm going to be going down to Horsey Gap, where they have one of the largest seal colonies in Norfolk. I was meant to do a seal safari last night and unfortunately it got cancelled, so I'm on a little bit of a quest before I leave Norfolk this time to see some seals. So I'm going to take a little walk down to the beach. It's about 2.2 km from the property where I parked my car. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy because I'm not really very appropriately dressed. I don't know if you can see that. But I've got shorts on and little ballet pumps, and that's all I have with me because it was meant to be really hot this weekend and then it turned out to be pretty cold. But I have all confidence in myself. I have done much crazier things than walk 2.2 km in ballet pumps and shorts. I've got a blanket that I found in the car, which is really helping. I found some blackberry bushes for a little snack on my way down. As you approach the beach, you can hear and feel the wind picking up. It's very, very exposed out on the coastline, so do be warned, and unlike me, dress appropriately and bring some layers. Let's get those shoes off and get some grounding on the sand. Horsey Gap is home to one of the largest colonies of grey seals in the UK, and it's probably one of the best places to see seals in Norfolk, full stop. You really get to stay here as long as you want, there's no time limit, and in some respects it might actually be better than the seal cruises. Certainly a different experience. I don't see any seals yet. Maybe I do, that might be one down there, but I can't quite see yet. So I thought the seals in the water were going to be my only sightings until I saw a group of people off in the distance, and I thought they have to be gathered for some reason. So I walked over and I couldn't believe it. There were just so many seals. It was way more than I had ever imagined or hoped for. But how cute, and can you hear them behind me? They're all howling. excited. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. I am so windswept now and so cold. I just kept wanting to get one more shot. But wow, what an experience. That is on par with Puffin Island for sure. Absolutely brilliant. I couldn't recommend it more, and it's completely free as well. Whew.